All right, Donald, how you doing? Would you like to introduce yourself?
Cheers, Pat. My name's Donald Tomilovic, and I work in the Edinburgh Vow Project. I work there as a peer mentor, and my job is basically working with young offenders, try to divert them away from crime, divert them away from addiction. The main purpose is to stop these young guys becoming in and out of jail, right up to their 30s and 40s. So I suppose the idea is to catch it early, and get them into sometimes college, sometimes work, sometimes it's about helping them with their mental health. We've got loads of partners throughout the city who help us with various things from employability, mental health, education. So basically, in a nutshell, that's what we do. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Hi, my name's Pat. I work for the Positive Outcome Project in Glasgow. Criminal justice. So we go into custody suites in the police stations in Glasgow. We go in and see people, big guys, girls, and we try and give them some information about the stuff that's out there in the community, whether it be for addiction, we drink, drugs, housing, benefits, mental health, any sort of problems that they've got. We'd sign them up, and once they're out, we would do outreach to them, go out to their addresses, phone them, send them letters, and try and get them linked in to other services, the service that's best for them.
When we first went to Vow to work, it was what the idea was very similar to what you just described there, and all the services all under the one roof. Unfortunately, no money and red tape sort of prevented that, but basically it's a police project, police-led project, and listen, as soon as I mentioned police here, I'm not a police officer, I just want to make that clear, you know what I mean? And,
see, that's what we say when we get into
you make it clear.
So
UCID.
You open the door and we walk in, we go, look, or no, but they see Ed and they go, oh, we know. I think he's getting yeah, Ed and they just go, oh, we know, it's all right. So I just to make them, because I remember my door opening when I was lying in a cell, and somebody wanted, well, if I ever did, usually when it was somebody wanted to talk to you, it was CID, to charge me or question me about something else, so I'd be right away, I'd be like, what are you talking about, who's want to talk to me? I don't want to talk to anybody.
Yeah, totally. Same when you go into jail, you know what I mean? It's like solicitor, social work, police. And I remember when I first started doing this, I went up to see a guy, and he was like, I was like, are you so-and-so? And he's like, no. And I was like, he's like, are you Polish? And I'm like, no, I'm not Polish. What makes you think I'm Polish? And then he's like, I was like, is this your prison number? So he goes, aye. And I goes, well, you must be the guy that I'm looking for. He goes, you're definitely no police. And I goes, I'm no police, mate. And he's like, oh, right, it is me. I was just like, he goes, I thought you were the Polish there. And I was like, actually, I'm other Polish, so I wanted to speak to him. And he was just seeing his face drop, you know what I mean? But actually, that was probably about 7 years ago. As soon as you let them know you're no police and give them that wee like, bit of experience that you've had straight away, you know you've got a hook in.
Aye, break down the barriers, isn't it? To be fair, we know most of them.
Aye.
That we get to see, we know most of them. Through back in the day, or still jumping about the town. We know quite a lot of them.
I think loads of similarities between the projects. I think our main focus is on the young guys, though, not young guys and girls in Edinburgh, and try to more preventive measures, and we're looking at younger and younger. Would they get involved in schools? I don't know if you guys go into schools and do some stuff. And currently I've got like a 15-year-old who I'm trying to help him get qualifications. I take him down to a studio, and I'll probably show my age here, but I think the correct term is spitting bars. So he's like, he spits bars, and he adds beats to it, and so like this is a young guy who's never been in mainstream high school, you know what I mean? And he's 15, and you're constantly fighting his corner, to support him, try to help him get qualifications in something that he's quite passionate about. And for the last about 3 weeks, I've been contact with schools, education board, SQA, try to get him a qualification. So hopefully that's it all in place now. But just for that guy, that wee guy who's never had a qualification, never been to school, and all of a sudden he's got to get something, through some of the work that he's passionate about, and it's huge. It's huge for him.
Mm-hmm.
And it's similar with a lot of the young guys that we work with. You know what I mean? It's just about finding out what their passions is and try to get them involved and try and keep them on the streets and try and give them a focus. But when they get that bit older, like you guys, it's about mental health and it's about housing, and it's about employment.
Try to catch them before all that really gets. But mental health's massive for youngins, because of the green.
Yeah.
All the stuff it's sprayed this green and all that. You see it a lot, young people and their mental health.
And it's super strength.
That's what I mean.
Just
in a room smoking green, playing a computer, and I feel anxiety, you don't want to go it because you never go it.
Yeah.
It's mental.
We're really, really lucky. We've got funders. You know what I mean? Before we found it really, really difficult. We'd put young people into CAMs and the waiting list is unbelievable. When somebody asks for help, they want help then. They don't know what to say. They'll come back, we'll get an appointment in about 6 months' time, and then we'll get you back in about a year and a half time or whatever. You know what I mean? The waiting list is,
that's another service that's let them down.
Yeah.
So the trust, again, the trust for services.
Absolutely. And we spoke to our funders about it, and they agreed. They gave us quite a wee bit of money we can put guys into, get mental health support privately, so we can get them
privately.
So for the minute they say that, if they want counselling or if they want to go and see a psychologist, we can get it set up within a week, 2 weeks max. Normally, if they're really busy, it might take a wee bit longer than 2 weeks.
Months and months.
Yeah, you're talking about an average about a week. You know what I mean? So it's amazing. You know what I mean?
That's amazing, because it takes, the waiting list for us is for counselling and mental health assessments, and it can take forever.
As you know, not everybody's up for doing, say, counselling, and some folk didn't identify as actually having mental health issues, but sometimes it's just about their well-being. So initially it was just for counselling, and then eventually funders agreed we can open up to anything that's well-being. So honestly, we've been at Celtic Park, we've been at Ibrox, we've been Murrayfield. The young guys are going into the studio. That all comes under well-being. I think we've got about 4 guys in the studio now doing musical stuff. I've had somebody that wants to do yoga, and they went on to get a yoga qualification. I think they might be a yoga trainer now, you know what I mean, which is absolutely amazing. But it sort of covers a lot of bits for us when it just comes to general well-being, looking at experiences like fast cars and that. As well as their well-being, it also showing them there's something else outside the wee bits of Edinburgh that they're staying in. You know what I mean? Some of them have never moved, never been outside that bit. Some of them, and I didn't mean to say this in a detrimental way, some of them didn't even know Edinburgh's got a castle because they've never actually been out into the city centre. You know what I mean? So sometimes it's just to show them that there's so much more out there than their Amy Park. You know what I mean? Their Amy Street. But we're really lucky to hear that.
A lot of the ones we deal with is older ones, 40s, 50s, that have been out there partying for have been 13, 14. And a lot of them, a few that we kind of know. And when me go in, Pat, or they know me, or they know Eddie, or you're doing on here, man. I'm explaining to them what we're doing, and we're in recovery, and been in recovery for years, and how we done it. So, how did you do that? And we explain to them how we done it, and how much give them information on the support and that. And there's a few boys that it's really hard to get them to link in, to get them engaged. Once it's easy when they're in custody because they've sat there all night contemplating their life. I know that's the way I used to do it because I came through a criminal justice background, in prison all my life, using drugs. And I go to recovery through criminal justice, through a criminal justice worker. And it was also somebody that I knew from my past. So I just get back to my own experience of sitting in a cell, and every time I was in it, oh, please God, I'll never do it again. Let me out tomorrow, and I swear I'll never. But when I got out, I forgot how bad it was lying in that cell every weekend. So that wasn't that bad, and I'd go in, do what I was doing, do my own thing. So I was going out, chapping their doors, sending them letters, phoning them if I've got phone numbers, and just keep trying them. But it's just that planting that wee seed, because we'll see people 4 and 5 times within a month, maybe, in custody suites, in the cells, and it's just planting that wee seed that maybe that 5th time they'll go, do you know what, I do, my life is, so I do need a hon here. I will engage with you this time. People, we had a guy the other day that phoned us, and we saw him, it was like 6-7 months ago in the cells, and we'd sent him a letter, we'd done outreach to his address, we'd tried to phone him, he just wasn't ready to engage at that time, but he phoned us the other day, and that was 7 months ago we spoke to him. We went out to see him, he's in his own flat and that now, and we gave him information, and we're going to meet up with him again to take him, to get him involved, because he's into music and DJing and stuff like that. So I think that's why we do it, just to see.
It's amazing when you go in and see somebody and they're like, nah, I'm okay, mate, I'm okay. And then like that, 7 months later he gets in touch, you know what I mean? Or you see him again 7 months later and he's like, right, I'm ready.
It's hard because you go in and we go in, we see people, you can see with your own eyes that they're totally done. They're totally done. And they're going, nah, I'm brand new, mate. And you just want to go, mate, you're no, man, honestly, you're no brand new, trust me. You can't, you've just got to let them.
I remember like one
get
time.
Get the rock bottom, I suppose, to go let them ask for it.
Yeah, totally. I remember one time going on, and it's virtually every time you go in, and you speak to guys who are hard at it still, or, know what I mean, or no, totally broken, know what I mean, and sort of really struggling, and like you go in and tell them a wee bit about yourself, and you know, I remember when I was caught in a very similar situation, I didn't see any way out. I mean, I never seen any way out. I thought that was me and that was how it was going to be. And I'd always heard about people managing to get away from it, but like I didn't know anybody that was in recovery.
I'd never heard of anybody.
Because if they were in recovery, they weren't coming to see me. Because
anybody in my scheme, my circle, I'd never heard of anything like people like recovery.
Yeah.
Like,
I'd heard about it, but then there was rumours that they were in the jail, or there was rumours that they'd actually OD'd and that passed away, and so like people would move away or just go on with their life, know what I mean, and stay away from the lifestyle that I was living. But when I first started doing this and I go into jail and you tell somebody a wee bit of your story, you could see them light up, you could see it in their eyes, because all of a sudden you were giving them that wee bit of hope that things could be different for them, know what I mean?
Yeah, and that's where it came in with me, because for years and years and years and years, I'd seen addiction workers, I'd seen doctors, I'd been into prisons, and everybody I spoke to, I was going to see a doctor, it was just to manipulate them to get some sort of script off them. I was going to see my addiction worker, I was just lying to them just to make myself look good so that they never put a report into the court or whatever it was. But then I was in Shotts prison, and I was up for parole, and I wouldn't do what they were asking me to do for my parole courses, violence course, things like that. And I was like, no, I'm not doing them. There's no point me doing them. So they got me a worker up for the WISE group that works in the prisons. And that worker came up to see me, and that worker was 2 doors away from me for like 3 years in Shotts prison, years before it. So I knew him. As soon as he came into the room, I was like, what are you doing? So he'd went for Shotts to Castle Huntley, started volunteering with the WISE group, and then got a job with him. And just that, wow, how did you do that, mate? How did you do that? And he sat down and explained to me what he'd done and what he was doing on the outside now. And I sat down and listened to him. And the other ones that were saying to me, you might go to rehab, we can maybe try and get you prison to rehab, stuff like that. I was just like, aye, but I was just saying aye, just to get out of the room as quick as I could. I'd have said aye yet, just to get out of the room. I wasn't really listening, I was just saying aye. But him, I sat down and I listened to, because I had a connection with right away. As soon as I sat down in that room and he came in, I went, wow, how do you do that? And he explained to me, and he went, look, do you want a bit of help? I went, aye. We'll try and get you this, try and get you that. I went, right, okay. He's like, look, you need to do this to try and get out. I went, right, fine. And that's my journey started, through just that connection of somebody I knew.
Yeah.
That I knew that wasn't just talking to me about a book, hadn't went to university to do it. I knew he'd been through what I was going through. And
right, Pat, we've got some questions here, the bit that was dread and mess, some questions for the youth volunteers at Fearless. And the first question is, what should young people do if they think their friends are being involved in drugs? Just a nice easy one for you, Pat.
I know, it's a hard one. Speak to your friend. Have a conversation with them about it, because maybe they don't realise it's getting out of hand. But if you have that wee conversation with them, give them a wee bit of support and about it, I think could help. And if that doesn't work, maybe say to somebody closer to the person to see if they can maybe do a wee intervention before it gets too late and out of hand. Well, that they can't be brought back for it.
Yeah, totally. I think, depending on what the relationship is, if it's a really close friend, I think you can hear that conversation with somebody, or if it's a good friend. And I think if it was me, I would be like, educating them, letting them know, asking them if they know long-term effects and stuff like that. At the same time, I'm not going to tell them to stop, you know what I mean? And the minute I tell them to stop, the minute they back off, you know what I mean? And like, you tell me, you tell me what to do, you know what I mean? And that's exactly how I would have reacted if I was younger and somebody had came to me, you know what I mean? Tell me what to do, you know what I mean? Straight away, that friendship's starting to, it's wobbling a wee bit, you know what I mean? Because you're challenging them about what they're doing and stuff like that. So sometimes it's just about having that conversation and having a chat with them, you know what I mean? And asking them if they're okay.
It's a hard one, because it's, before I came into recovery myself, I never knew any of the tools about going and challenging people. And I wasn't sympathetic to anybody else's needs apart from my own. But now I know that, so I've done it with friends and seen that they were getting out of hand, whether it be with gambling, anything at all. Look here, so then say, look, you need to get your up with this, man. That's going to end up back to bite you.
Seeing that conversation, with a friend, and that you potentially could be saving their life. Know what I mean? Let's face it. Know what I mean? People die on drugs. Know what I mean? And we've got a huge amount of people dying in this country because of drugs and that. And just hearing that conversation and no saying to them that they're there for them, and if they need help, no, depending on how the conversation, if they need help, no, helping them along to get that proper help. And sometimes it's better coming for a friend, you know what I mean, than coming for somebody for an authoritative figure, or a teacher or a social worker or whatever, you know what I mean. Sometimes it's that, and it's part of why we do what we do, you know what I mean. It's not coming for someone who has got a uniform on or is there to sort of say an authority figure. It's coming for somebody that you know, and it certainly worked for you, coming for somebody you knew, you know what I mean, when they came into the jail that time to speak to you.
You know it's coming for a compassionate place.
Yeah.
It's not just coming for you need to do this, you need to do that. Whereas you've probably go the other way and go, I'm not listening to them.
Okay, Pat, another easy question for you. What would you say to your teenage self regarding drugs?
Just say no. Aye, famous logo.
Yeah.
I don't know, it's a hard one, man.
Just on that though, can you remember the campaigns, you know what I mean, for Grange Hill and stuff like that, Samo and stuff like that?
Grange Hill, Samo, aye.
I think that was like probably one of the first ones I ever seen. When would that be, in the 80s?
Aye, me or not, it was one of the first I seen it all. He was in the toilet smoking heroin and all that. And
that's right, which was pretty out there for that time. But loads of more different drug campaigns now.
Aye, but I don't know what I would get back and tell myself, if I'm honest. Like, aye, I don't know, it's a hard one. It's something that I'll never get a chance to.
Like, 'cause when I was first started using drugs, I thought it was invincible and that I would never become an addict, you know what I mean? I was always in control of it. And I pushed it and pushed it and pushed it, and then when I tried to stop, I couldn't stop. You know what I mean? And I did not have the bottle and confidence and the self-esteem to tell people that I was struggling. I tried to hide it, and I had it, and I had it, and all through my addiction, you know what I mean, I tried to hide it the best I could. You know what I mean? And I think if I had to speak to my younger self, one of the things I would say is, if you're really struggling, speak about it, speak to somebody you can trust, go and get that help. I think guys are struggling to speak about stuff at the best times, you know what I mean? When you're a young guy and you think you're invincible and the chest getting puffed out every time you're walking down that street, you don't want to say you're struggling to anybody.
No, it's that well in my household anyway, it was that way. That was ingrained into us. Don't tell anybody anything. Whether it be authorities, police, social work, anybody, anything that happens in the house, don't tell anybody anything. It was like ingrained into us. So it was like, and I never seen like my granda or my granny or my brothers or my sister going and asking for help. And my sisters and my brothers not were all in addiction before I knew what addiction was. I didn't know what it was, but I knew there was something wrong in the household just because of the way they were and how chaotic the household was. But did I ever tell anybody? Did I ever go and say to anybody, whether it be a teacher or social work? No, because that was ingrained into us through our veins. Never ask anybody for help, or because it made you look weak.
Yeah, totally.
Made you look weak, and you couldn't look weak because it was like.
But really,
survival of the fittest.
Really, it's the opposite.
Aye, it's the opposite. It's exactly. And now I know that it's the opposite. It takes so much more strength to go and ask somebody for help or support, or tell somebody, or speak out and tell somebody, look, I'm really struggling with this. It takes so much more strength than it is just hiding it away.
Pat, we've got another question for the young volunteers, and a young person wants to know if there should be more understanding people who are caught in addiction. And I think it's came back for stuff that have been on social media, with videos of people walking into buses when they're being wasted, or walking down the street and can hardly walk. What's your thoughts?
I think there should be more maybe education surrounding addiction, and so that it can get young people to realise that that person could be a son, a daughter, he's got a mother, got a father, brothers, sisters, is a human being basically. So I think a lot of it's got to do education and addiction, whether it be in schools or youth clubs or whatever, to have that compassion to look at something just because of the stigma thing with, or they're just a junkie, or they're out stealing to get their drugs, or but they're not knowing that they need that daily.
Yeah, I totally agree. I mean, no, when I'm talking to like young people, or if I'm talking to police officers, know what I mean? It's how would you, like, if that was a relative of yours, how would you want them treated? How would you want them dealt with? Would you want somebody, when it's a young person, would you, if that was your mum, would you want that passed about, your classmates of that? And I always, like, when I'm dealing with young people and dealing with people, I try and remember how I would want me treated, or how I'd want my son treated, or how I'd want my mum or my dad or my brothers treated, know what I mean? And because at the end of the day, we're all human beings, as you said, know what I mean? And we all deserve to be treated well. How much pain would that person need to be in? Know what I mean? And again, it's down to lack of education and lack of understanding that for somebody to be walking down the street, know what I mean, and barely walk, know what I mean? They're in a really bad place. They're unwell, and it's about getting them that help and support rather than laughing and pointing a finger at them. If it was somebody taking a heart attack, or if it's somebody with some other kind of illness, I don't think it would be the same. But it's down to the stigma. You know what I mean? The people who use drugs. People regard people who use drugs as scumbags. If people had more care and understanding of addiction, do you think people would be more likely to report to people who are making the money out of the drugs?
Aye, definitely. I think if they had more education stuff in it, and they had that understanding of it, so they would know what the consequences of that could be. So I think it would make it easier for them to report people, knowing that what they're doing to people.
Yeah, I think when as soon as you mention the word reporting it, and people automatically think, the word grass definitely pops up in my head, know what I mean? And it definitely has a negative connotation. Rather than just thinking about, you're ultimately trying to save somebody. You're reporting because somebody's getting used, know what I mean? Somebody's getting forced to do running, or they're not always forced to do it, know what I mean? But a lot of times it's people's personal situation because they're caught up in addiction and they do stuff that they didn't want to be doing, but they need to do it, know what I mean? They need to do it or they're doing other stuff that they didn't want to be doing. You need to feed that habit somehow, and sometimes they're getting used for to do that type of work. But if people had, as you said, if people have got a bit more understanding, automatically, when you hear of people like doing drug runs and stuff like that, you're automatically thinking drug dealer, know what I mean, pure scumbag, pure bam. Most of the people that are doing a lot of these like runnings and stuff like that are guys who are caught up in addiction, or it's kids who didn't know better.
I'm not getting much for it.
Yeah, and getting next to nothing, and sometimes feel pressured into doing it and don't want to say no, want to be part of, feeling the peer pressure, or they're in debt and they feel like they have to, they've no option. Yeah, I totally agree, Pat. And if somebody was caught up, if people were more understanding of what was going on, it's a tricky one. I mean, I know like throughout the UK there's pockets and communities where, you know what I mean, it's like total retribution if anything comes out. But the beauty about Crimestoppers and Fearless is it's totally anonymous. You know what I mean? There's absolutely no names added to it.
It's just enforcing that. Look, this is or not. This doesn't. There's no names. There's no. Just enforcing that, because in enforcing it, it's coming from a caring place. It's not coming from you're a grass.
Yeah.
You're a wronging.
I think automatically it's about sticking somebody in. Know what I mean? You're sticking somebody in. You're not actually. Know what I mean? If I was in that situation, it's about saving people's lives. Know what I mean? It's about helping people and supporting people and trying to get them out of that. You know, some people would say there's got to be doesn't matter who you stick in. There's somebody got to take their place anyway, and that might be true. But at the end of the day, you're giving somebody else a bit of breathing space now, and giving them that opportunity to get out it.
And giving them it. So that's what I'm saying. It's about reinforcing that it's not about being a grass and sticking people in and being a bad one. It's about you're caring for somebody. You're worried about them. It's about educating them around what you know. Because that would make you feel bad about yourself as well.
Yeah,
let's be honest.
Totally.
Do you know what I mean? I think phoning up and even
goes against
if
the
it's
grain,
anonymous,
doesn't it?
it's just something that going against the grain, and you'd feel that in your stomach. Like, especially if it's a friend. Not so much if it's not a friend, if it's just something you've heard about or whatever. But if it's a friend, that would really, you would really feel that as well. Doing that, feel as if you were harming them. So that education stuff, look, it's about caring. It's coming from a compassionate place, no a bad place. Yeah. Which I think would help them maybe phone up more if they understand that it's, look, you're not just a dirty wronging. Basically, you're doing it for a caring, compassionate place.